listening to different founders, leaders of countries, and stuff like that. And at least the idea that I've come up with is you can always blame or put everything back on the leader. Or in our company, they always say it falls on leadership. So if something isn't getting done, it falls on leadership. Even
Every
if it
time.
is their fault, even if it's not their fault, it's going to fall on the leader, seeing as they're responsible. So with that being said, it's like, um, okay, as a leader, how do you make sure you have all your bases checked? Even if stuff does go wrong, what are the processes and procedures they handle in that, and how do you make sure stuff doesn't happen over and over again? How do you make sure you're rewarding and motivating people that are doing really good? um, and just keeping like a balance. You don't want to push people too far away, but you don't want to overtly praise them to where there's kind of nothing getting done. It's like a balancing act, is I'm trying to figure out.
It's a massive pain in the ass, and it's certainly um it's a tremendous challenge, man. And I applaud you for getting into it, and not only getting into it, but really holding yourself accountable for improving inside of it. I mean, you're in a role where how many people are you in charge of right now?
I got 15 people.
Yeah, so you're in charge of more people than I am, right? And dude, that's a lot of people, right? And you have to, I assume, build out the playbooks. I assume you have to build out the KPIs and metrics. I assume are already kind of set,
Yep,
but at
KPIs and
least
everything are all good. Playbooks, it's already preset. The thing about our company and our business is, do you have people actually running the play? Like, in I, you don't want to be a glorified babysitter, but it's like people get discouraged very, very easily. So making sure you can come in, kind of show the way, and have a good balance of motivating people, helping them where help is needed, but letting them go get their feet wet too, so they can, you want them to think like you or think bigger than you, so they can be self-sufficient. And then, stuff, I mean, for there to be good times, there has to be bad times. You can't celebrate stuff if there aren't, trouts. And then you just gotta like I constantly flip the pancake is what I say. If stuff is going bad, you gotta be like, okay, there will be better times. We gotta keep going. If stuff is going really good, just know it's not gonna be like this all the time. Enjoy it while it's here, but be ready to get punched in the face, because you never know what could happen.
and you're doing sales for life insurance still,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
Oof. Oof. Talk about getting punched in the face.
A lot of
Um
people want to talk to us. They do not want to talk to me. The last
no.
thing to think about is dying, or one
Right.
of their loved ones dying.
Um where are you finding these folks? What's your pipeline?
So the cool thing about our company is we're the only company that is contracted to work with unions nationwide. So we pretty much come in. We have a lot of uh, over 30,000 different labor unions, credit unions, and associations, firefighters, police officers, teachers. They have unions, state officials, state workers. So we pretty much provide them with no cost insurance. They got like a pretty small minimal accidental policy, but it's absolutely free. We go over how to make a claim on that policy. And then them being with our group, they have access to what are like discounted whole life amounts. So that's pretty much our thing. We don't do too much term. Whole life is where we're at, but they want to make sure that the final expenses are like set in stone. It's not the company for everybody, but to make sure everything is said and done at the very end, where the people to come to.
I'll tell you, since I've known you, your communication has gotten a lot more precise, which is definitely a hallmark of leadership development. So excellent, excellent job on that. And I just wanted to go into a little bit. Um, I had the honor of teaching you like three things over the course of maybe like a year. And dude, I I came across you because one of your friends was a dental student that happened to come across something. I think like I hit up a club or something. He's like, dude, one of my friends would be super into this. And he's like, Jacob's the guy. And I was like, cool, if I can invite him. And it turns out, like showed up to all the morning meetings, absolutely crushed it, got into the leadership position in the network. Um, took
can we
all of
stop
this
right
stuff.
there just
Yeah.
for a second? Like you said, showing up to all the morning meetings. I didn't realize like that was important. Like the more like that right there, showing up to the morning meetings, just showing up. It's so I don't want to say it's hard, but it's hard getting people to show up. Like that's half of the battle. Doing the work is one thing, but just to show up to the morning meetings, to be able to go out, talk to people, recruit, be able to sell or communicate your dreams, your visions, your goals, what it is that you want to do for the workplace or the world. I didn't realize I didn't realize that everything coming out of the network would be so quickly applicable. Like it's the second you get pulled out of here, okay, now do it. Don't ask any questions, just do it. Go ahead, go. And there's no like, oh wait, let me get a redo, let me stop. Nope. Okay, go. Let's go.
It's, you know, it was a massive, completely transparent. It was a massive pain in the ass for me, but I actually did it to hold myself accountable to waking up early. And I'm sure you've seen what a useful tactic that is in terms of building up your own team. Is like how much do you use a regimen to actually make yourself better?
Almost every single day.
But specifically a regimen that relies on other people being there with you, right? You have a team.
All the time. I think with leadership, the only way you can be a good leader is for you to hold yourself accountable. Because if you can't lead yourself, then you don't have the authority or the credentials to lead others. And then in my mind, when I look at my team, when I'm really frustrated, it's like, okay, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people that have no idea what's going on. I get that you're mad. I get that you're frustrated. I get that you feel like the world is like falling on your shoulders. They have no idea about any of that stuff that's going on. They don't care, and it really doesn't matter. So you got to make sure that you're up and you're ready to help them with whatever comes up. And you got to make sure your attitude is in the right spot. I didn't realize my attitude. My dad would talk to me so much about my attitude growing up. It's something that you have to inspect and watch almost every single second. Like your attitude. How are you talking to people? How are you doing your work? Okay.
Tell me about that. So let's talk about, what do you mean by that?
Well, do you want to talk about it in terms of being a leader or just being
No.
somebody?
I want to talk about your personal anecdote of how you're working on your attitude, because I have some things I'd like to chime in, but I'm curious about yours.
Okay, so let me see. If you got problems on the team, if you got an issue that comes up, you have to be able to effectively communicate with the team, but you don't want to push people away per se. It's weird. You got to hold people accountable. You got to still get stuff done. You got to push your emotions and your feelings to the side. But at the same time, you got to be cognizant and make sure, your point is getting across.
Wait. Still too abstract. Give me an exact example of team member that fucked up, and
Okay.
then what you actually said, and did you say it in a group setting or did you say it in an individual setting?
Okay. I'm still working on that. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
But okay, in our business, we have what's called retention, right? You can write up business and people are expected to pay a certain amount every single month until they die. With that being said, the company gives you a front or a loan on the policies that you write up. If you write bad business or if you write up applications to where people either aren't paying on what they say they're going to pay on, and it lapses or anything like that, that falls on the person, obviously the agent, and then that falls on the leader. So if you have a lot of people or a couple of people, it doesn't have to be a lot. If you got a couple of people that aren't writing up good business, that can affect your team's retention, and that can affect your pay,
Your
resource
loan,
you have,
right?
your loan, like
You
everything.
have debt, right? Like because they're
Yep.
giving you a loan. So
Yep.
if you mess that up, then you're in debt to the company. Is that correct?
Yep. So talking with team members and making sure you're writing up policies that are affordable for people. You don't want to write up something you can't sell someone a Lambo who isn't qualified to have a Lambo. Sometimes you need a Toyota. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like there is
Florida's pretty
absolutely
good.
nothing wrong with that, right? Number two, solidification, making sure people know what it is that they are getting. You don't want to be sly at the mouth. That's not good. And that's going to track, like it's going to trace you. It's not going anywhere. It's going to follow you, who you are as a person. So whether you come from this company to the next company, if you're kind of known for like smooth talking and, getting stuff in real quick, real fast, and no one can ever reach you or get a hold of you, that's just not good. So those are the two biggest things, making sure you're getting people what it is that they need and making sure people have an understanding of what it is that they're getting. And
Okay.
having talks with teammates like, look, when you're sitting down communicating with clients, it's okay to slow stuff down, right? And I know you want to get paid. I know that's a really big thing, but you don't want to put bad food in. You know what I mean? Like if you eat bad food, you're gonna have bad stuff coming out. Like put good stuff inside your body so when it goes all the way down and comes out, it's good. You don't want bad stuff coming in. It's gonna mess up your body. And yeah, you may not feel it right now. If you eat cake every day, it feels good right now. You spend 10 years eating cake every single day, that's gonna have an effect on your body, and you're gonna have a pretty bad body. So
Okay. So say someone writes up a contract that's just ridiculous. They've gone through the training. Okay.
okay.
They've gone through the training. They know what they need to be doing, right? You've and probably pretty consistent training too. They mess it up. Okay, they mess it up one time. What do you say to them, Jacob?
Hey, do you know what it is that you wrote up, or walk me through your thought process? Why did you do it this way? Like
Okay.
what's going on? Why'd you write it up this way?
Okay. Do you do all the interviews
Do I do all the interviews?
for your team?
Yes. Yes,
So you,
yes.
you say yes or no in the beginning. Oof. That's rough. Yeah, believe me, I know. So all right, fine. They say they are confused. They're like, yeah, I'm still kind of trying to figure it out. What would you say? Yeah.
You're still trying to figure it out. Do you know that you're acting in the interest that's not good for the client, right? And this is gonna like fall back on you and me and everybody else on your team. Like, is that something that you're aware of, or do you just not care?
I got you, boss. I'll take care of it. Um, I'll review the material. A month later, they do it again.
Okay. Then we're going to talk about resource reduction. You're not going to get as many resources to work with,
What
or
do
you
you
can
mean by
go out
that?
and do it yourself. So our company issues out lead packs. We give like the agents people to work with instead of them having to go strictly referral. If we're having a lot of issues, we're going to either cut the resources, or if there's a lot of bad food, they just won't get paid the money that they just won't get paid, and that's pretty much it.
Mm, okay, but what's your conversation with that person?
If it's the second time around,
Yeah.
second time around. Hey, this is the second time. Like, can you walk me through what's going on? Like, what happened with the client?
Is
Like,
this
walk
is this
me
in a
through.
is this in a one-on-one setting? Are you giving an example in a group at this
This
point?
is one
What's
on one. This is
okay?
one on one.
So say they're sitting down at their desk, right? They're ripping phone calls. Walk me through like
Okay.
how do you show up? What would you do?
Hey, it's Rob. Can you meet me back in my office real quick?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Get into the
boom.
office.
Come sit down. Pull up the application. They used to do paper. We got everything on the computer now. I see you wrote up this person again, and uh, like the information you put on the application is wrong.
I look surprised. I'm like, I, I don't know anything about it.
So we called up the person to kind of see what was going on, and they told us that they informed you of one, two, three different things that you kind of marked off as like wrong. You got the height and weight wrong. You put them down as non-tobacco. They're tobacco users, and they got diagnosed with something 2 years ago. This is like the second time around. Are you not going through like the underwriting material, or are you just trying to get paid really quickly? Because this is the second time, to Rob. Like,
Yeah, I'm trying, boss. We all kind of make mistakes, and it's. I mean, it's one out of 100 leads that I did wrong. So is that like something that is a big issue or?
Yeah. So if we're not servicing the clients the right way, and if you're not, telling the truth on the applications, there could be legal implementations or legal
Implications.
implications. Like this could be a legal issue. So what we'll do, Rob, for your next 5 presentations, I'm gonna sit in. I'm gonna watch you go through the whole process. I'll kind of be there as question, like you know what to do, but I'm gonna be watching you from here on out, kind of going through your application process.
Gotcha. Thank you, boss. I'll try to do
I
better.
just and then I inspect their interaction with the clients to make sure everything is kind of getting done correctly.
So what we just went over is kind of like a failure to kind of understand their job, right? And you have this process of saying, okay, first strike, warning. Do you write up that warning?
Yes.
Okay, so you are expected to do the write up. So you have your HR playbook in the background says, okay, if you give someone a warning, you have this sheet or something to fill out, right?
Yes.
Dude, I did not know how important HR policies are. All right, and when you hire and fire enough people, you will realize HR policies are freaking essential. Okay,
Mhm.
uh, okay, cool. So you do the write up, and then you kind of watch them. How much time do you actually have to inspect their performance? Like, is that built into your schedule?
So not really, no. And that's the biggest frustration. Like if that's the case, I have to take time out of working with new people or me doing some of my own. I have clients I have to work with, sit down with. That's taking time out of my schedule. I have to allocate towards watching, or we call it like running field with. I have to run field with you. I have to make sure you're doing what you're supposed to do.
So it's doubly costly, right? It's your time and potentially, right, that gets put on you if the person doesn't end up. That's a lot of stress.
Mhm.
It's a lot of stress. So I know what that feels like, kind of, but I don't work for a corporation. So what are the rules in terms of you getting help to field the people?
Um, we have other managers. I kind of just took like another managerial promotion. So we got other
Congrats.
managers here that we thank you. We got a lot of other managers here that we can kind of lean on, people that have been in the position a lot longer than me that I could kind of take their advice for. And if not, just allocate or ask them, hey, one of our guys, he actually works PR with our company as a whole. So huge, like he's a huge help, and he'll kind of give us like the green tape, red tape, blue tape, yes, no, this is what it's got to be. And if not, I can just bring in one of the partners to kind of have a conversation or work hand in hand with that person to see if it's best for them to part ways or if it's good for them to stay here in the agency.
So that's fascinating. What do you mean PR? Like literally public relations, like writing up articles, like
So
media?
not necessarily with our company got Globe Life as a whole
Mhm.
insurance company. One of the subsidiary companies is American Income, and within American Income we have an agency, Ray Smith and Partners. It's I think the largest or one of the top two out of the whole American Income ecosystem. And the company they work for or they work with Texas Rangers, Dallas Cowboys, Atlanta Braves, the Lakers, and the company is like their official life insurance company with those companies, as well as the unions. So we have to make sure that our company is properly representing ourselves as we're speaking with people to make sure there is no misrepresentation. So if there are any, public relation issues, if agents are not doing what they're supposed to with the clients, if there's any friction, if there are documents that aren't getting submitted or done the correct way, PR is going to be the first people on it. They're the first people that are kind of notified of everything.
That's super fascinating. So the PR people are kind of like HR in the
Mhm.
sense that if you don't follow um, kind of the public image of the company and make sure that that's in mind, then they will be the ones responsible for making sure, well, besides their direct manager, for
Mhm.
making sure that they have the corrections. Um, really interesting. So I just curious. I'm in the process of making a corporation, so I'm like I'm gonna dig through what they're kind of doing. So in terms of when someone new comes in, and this will probably be the last like recruitment type of question. We'll go into more broad things soon. Do you warn people about this process? Are you like are you like, dude, like what do you say to someone when they first come in? What's your way of staging them for this?
Yeah, everything is pretty much scripted. If you follow within the guidelines of the script and you do everything kind of by the book, there will be no issues whatsoever. Between our partners, they have over 100 years, if you add all of them combined, of them being inside the insurance industry, more specifically with our company. If you follow the playbook, follow the scripts, follow the presentations, follow all the follow-up questions, there will be no issues. If you try to skip the line or do things a little bit of the easier way, it is going to come back and affect you. And that is
Excellent.
one problem you do not want to have.
Dude, you are so lucky that you have script. Oh my God. Building out playbooks for small businesses. Me and you went to a scaling conference.
Mhm.
Dude, playbooks, man.
It's huge.
Oh my God. But it takes so much time.
Mhm.
And like and there's so much iteration too. It's not gonna work. You know, you have to so what does the company do, and how are you involved with making your own playbook, and what does the company do in terms of on a quarterly basis? Does it assess the playbooks and like update them, and you guys kind of understand those updates? Like how does that go?
So the playbook is pretty much the same since we've gone from COVID. I think they made a couple of changes since we kind of went virtual. Life insurance used to be a face-to-face ordeal, but as soon as COVID came about, all the going inside and speaking to people, houses and offices, they kind of cut it. The company made an amazing pivot, like an amazing pivot to where they went virtual quickly. You know, it took some time to get everything from uh, like pen and paper online on a virtual setting. And once they went there, um, it pretty much was easy. They took the playbook is this exact same thing from when it was in person. They just made a couple of changes for when we are speaking to clients face to face versus being in the homes.
Hmm.
But other than that, too many iterations. I mean, it's insurance is one of the oldest industries in America, so it hasn't changed too much.
And what about your personal, like, do you have like a playbook in your domain of 15 people like that you're kind of building out too, or are you for the most part just following the tracks?
I'm following the tracks. I'm
Makes sense.
following the tracks. One thing that I found with our company is, when you are in the building stage before you get to about, 50 people, I want to know this thing like the back of my hand and not just know it in a book sense. I want to know how to apply it and how to answer any question and, break down like, oh, nope, this relates to this. This is how you coach and train somebody in this aspect. But if you're in the dead smack middle of dealing with the client and you got a new person that doesn't know what they're doing that's in a presentation as well, and you got one of your leaders that kind of needs some help too, you need to be able to, number one, act fast. And then after that, take one thing at a time. Like, Lord knows like how much progression I've had, even in a personal sense. Like when you're here in work, you got a bunch of fires that are going on. I heard Gary Vee said one time, he's not an entrepreneur, he's a firefighter. I feel like there are fires every single day. And in the midst of starting the day, you got a new fire that's kind of, kicking up. So handling one fire at a time, quickly, with the least amount of energy, so the least amount of words as possible, but making sure it's getting addressed and handled before moving on to the next one and just trying to handle stuff really quickly with the playbook.
Least amount of words possible. Let's touch
Yeah.
on that. I have difficulty with that. I'm sure because I just like talking.
Mhm.
What are your thoughts on that? Least amount of words possible.
Um, I think it comes with time, obviously, and it's something I struggle with too. But I mean, I've been hearing this since I was a kid. A master you can tell a difference between a master and a novice by just looking at how many swings they do, how many words they use. And I think as humans, we kind of overcomplicate things. We want to get like an elongated version. We want people to feel us and understand us. More times not, the answer is probably really simple. You just got to communicate it. Just do it. And even if you look at businesses like Uh, let me see. I know now, 2 years into the business, I can do a lot more with myself and my guys now with less energy versus 5 months ago or 6 months ago or 2 years ago. When I come in now and I talk to you about something, I can do it a lot easier versus way back then. I'm trying to add on special sauce and I'm trying to, get to know you, do this and that. And you just make it too complicated. I looked at an image too, was I think Elon Musk's first iteration of like him building his rockets. And as the models progressed, they had less and less parts because you can kind of cut away the fluff or the fat or what does not need to be there and get the most done with the least amount of parts, energy, or words.
Excellent. And so you probably have many mentors in the industry. How often are you engaging with these folks?
I try to every single day. I got the blessing of having one of the partners kind of in the office almost on a daily basis.
That's incredible, dude.
Yeah. So being able to talk to them pretty much on a daily basis, shooting them video messages, shooting them texts, shooting them calls. And that's pretty much it almost every single day.
What do you mean by video messages? Curious.
Hey, Rob, quick question. I was dealing with this in the office, and I had an agent do this. This is what was on my mind when you were, in my position. What did you do, or what do you think about it now? Boop, send it.
So what's the utility of the video versus like a audio message or something? What have you found, at least? I'm curious.
In terms of video, audio, pretty much the same. I do video, audio. I think those are the same. I got that over texting. I feel like when you text, there's no conveyance of emotion. You may not know how people are feeling, or you could completely read it the entirely wrong way. Versus if you got an audio message or a video, you can hear what it is, or you can get a little bit more context off of that. So
you prefer it?
Voice memo or video, like 1,000%. 1,000.
So for me specifically, I like to have text because video and voice are really hard to keep as accounts, right? Like it's hard to go back and like see the record, I guess, of the conversation, or like things that you might have missed or something. You have to go and click into each one of them. So I guess I mean there's probably uses for both, but I could see just getting a message across. That's super cool. Is that something that you were doing before the company, or did you just see, like, did someone communicate with you that way and you're like, oh, this is pretty cool?
I think more so after the company. Once I started working in the company, obviously you want to hop on a phone, like a phone call or a FaceTime. Then you don't get that opportunity all the time. So you got to boil it down to the question that you have, cut all the fluff, send like a video or a message. That kind of makes me think too. Even when we went out to Vegas together, we went to the 10X Growth Con. And I think about Patrick Bet-David. He has a platform called Monect. There's a reason they charge more for you to do like a video message than a text message. You may not be able to get the full context of the point across, or maybe you want to, put yourself out there. So
have you used Monect?
I have not used Monect, not yet.
Dude, I wanted to so bad, but I was like, I don't think I have a good enough question. That's super cool. So, okay, we talked about work stuff. How many hours a week you working, boss?
How many hours a week?
What's your average, you think?
80 to 100 hours a week.
And how old are you?
22. I don't know why.
22, working 80 hours a week. What about the guys that are on your team? Same hours, same age?
Same age. I don't know if they'd say 80, probably 60.
Still pretty respectable. That's a lot. That's 20 extra hours than most people work. And you recruited them. You hand recruited them yourself, right? Yes. Yeah. So, dude, you've never struck me as someone that's normal, right? You're in my opinion, at least in communication, when we met, I was like, dude, this guy's well above average, right? He holds himself very respectfully, and genuinely is curious and very intelligent. How do you find friends?
How do I find friends?
Is that even a priority these days?
I don't know. I don't know. That's something I've really been thinking about to myself. In our business, we spend so much time working, and it's crazy to say we spend so much time working. And I work in an industry, in a company, like like thank you Jesus, thank you God. I work in a company where I was able to bring my brother and bring my friends and bring in other people and bring them in as associates. And we all pretty much work together. I live with my brother. I work with my brother. He sees me working day in, day out. When I'm with my friends, it's weird. I don't know. Like all we talk about is work, but I, that's what that's what I wanted. Like I don't know. That's what I feel like when I was in school. You get up, you go to class, you kind of do your thing, you go to social events, but I had no like goal, nothing that I was like chasing other than graduation. When
And
I'm
you were a
work,
finance major,
yeah, yeah,
correct?
yeah.
That was technically your major at OSU.
Mhm.
Yeah,
When
super
I'm
interesting.
working, it's like, no, like let's go. Like I got something to get up and go for. Every day doesn't feel the best, but it's like we got something we're chasing. Like we want to be the best. We were all athletes. Like we want to be the best. Let's go for a ring. Let's take it all the way.
Do you look for people that are athletic?
Yes, 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 yes.
How much is that an indicator of success in sales? Do you think?
I think that anybody can be successful. I mean, it's a decision. Like it's pretty much it falls on you whether or not you kind of want it. I think the demographic for athletes is good for us because people are already so scripted, if that makes sense. You
You
play
run the
football,
plays.
you
Hmm.
run track, you just run the plays. Like
Hmm.
you know that game time is only 10% of it. The other 90% you're practicing. If you really love football, you're watching football games, you're watching film, you're practicing by yourself. The coach doesn't have to tell you, hey, let's come on. You're like, no, I want to do this. And this business and businesses and in general, that's what I like. It's like, no, like the reason I get so obsessed and excited, and this is all I kind of think and care about is because this is what I want to do. Like I don't want to do anything else. And I feel like it's important to have people like that around you because
Oh,
if you have a
tremendous.
culture of people that are like all together, like let's go, let's go, let's go, kind of elevates you. Versus you having other people that may not, feel that way or don't really care about the company, that drags it down.
Hmm.
So yeah.
You remember Brandon Dawson on stage? Even Jesus had people that brought him.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that?
Mm-hmm.
How do you what's your strategy for finding the people in the company that are actually bringing it down? And what are some telltale signs? I'm curious.
Spend just like I don't want to say spend all day with them because you can't really do that. But just like listening to them and watching their movements. Like if you listen to people and how they react and how they think about things, that'll tell you a lot about them. And that's one thing as a leader, I kind of it's all your attitude. Like how do you feel about something?
Hmm.
If something good is going on and you got people that are kind of praising it, that's good. Like that's someone I kind of want to be around. If you got something that's good that's going on and they're like, nah, like they're just like spewing bad stuff, it's like a field. I don't want to get anything negative kind of put in the field.
Hmm.
I know that it's there. Like you
I
don't
mean, you
have to.
have to be aware. I mean,
Yeah,
you're the guy that buffers against it, right?
Mhm.
Hmm.
So just listen to people. Listen to people. People will tell you who they are. You got to listen to them.
Cheers. So, okay, super into this company. 22 years old, working 80 hours a week, in a freaking phenomenal position. Got promoted once or twice already
I
in the
got
last 2 years.
I got promoted 3 times.
You got promoted 3 times in the last 2 years. Like absolute G, right? What are you thinking, dude? Like, you know, we during the internship and stuff, there was like personal, professional, financial goals, 1, 3, 5, 10 years out, whatever.
Mhm.
What if you make millions of dollars a year? Why?
If I make millions of dollars a year, why?
Yeah, why make millions of dollars a year?
Well, is it just about the millions of dollars, or is it about you working with the team and being the best? What is it that you're doing? You know, money is money. But if you got a team that's, um, leading the way, my biggest thing, what I always wanted to do growing up, is I always wanted to collaborate with the biggest brands in the world. And then when I went to school, I realized, okay, to collaborate with the biggest brands in the world, you got to be one of the biggest brands in the world, or you have to be worthy to collaborate with the biggest brands in the world. So with that being said, it's like, okay, how do I make myself worthy of collaborating with the biggest brands in the world? You got to be world class. You got to be really good.
Hmm.
Okay. So, and it doesn't matter what you're in. Like, you have to be good in like where you're at right now. If it's being a student, be a world class student. If it's being at your job, be world class at your job. And it's hard. like you make a decision, let me do it right now. Okay, tomorrow you feel completely different waking up. But it's like, no, like we want to do this. One of the things that comes to my mind all the time is our company. It's the official life insurance company of the Lakers, right? We know that Kobe Bryant was one, in my opinion, one of the greatest basketball players of all time. I get to play on a team that Kobe Bryant was on. And if Kobe Bryant was next to me right now in my industry, what would he be telling me? He played basketball. He did twice as many practices as everybody else. He studied the game. He was like this close to Tim Grover, the coach. Like, if Kobe was here right now, what would he say about your performance or about your attitude? It doesn't have to be your performance. He could look at your attitude and just correct you right there, snap you right there.
So for you, it's more about the people that you're consistently spending time with, and then there's this sense of you want to collaborate with the largest brands in the world, but to
Mhm,
what end? What type of collaboration?
mhm.
Have you thought about that?
I have. At one point, it was going up and taking pictures with people and shaking hands and doing interviews. And now I'm kind of starting to see it's business transactions. What am I doing for you, and what can you do for me, and how can we come together and do business so we can increase our influence on it, like on everybody or our target audience.
But you always struck me as kind of like you're pretty you struck me as a righteous guy. I mean, you kind of still do, right? It's
Mhm.
there's a sense of, are you still religious to
Very
some
much
degree?
so.
Yeah. And so there's a sense of, I don't know. Do you feel any sort of particular commitment to, I guess, putting that out there? The virtuousness, the righteousness, the good parts of you. I mean, obviously you're going to do it through your team. Obviously you're going to, I assume it's going to go into your collaborations that you're going to do in the future. But
Mhm.
is it at the forefront of those collaborations, or is the transaction the more interesting part to you?
That's an interesting question. I don't think it's ever been posed that way. Um, I've always thought, I've always thought that the work is going to get us to the transaction. I don't know. Like the actual transaction part, it is what it is. Like it is what it is. But it's like the work that it takes to get there in the story. And then after that, when you are on a podcast or you are asked about what's going on, the the religious, I don't want to say religious, but the religious piece is going to be like the forefront of that. Like, don't look at me and say I did a good job. It's everything that was done beforehand, and I wouldn't be here without God and Jesus, and I literally couldn't have made it this far. Like I could not have made it this far without God, Jesus, my parents, my partners, my team. Like you got to humble yourself and be like, okay, it's not just you.
I guess I got a problem.
Hit me.
My problem is I think I'm the only one that can do it.
You think you're the only one that can do it?
Yeah.
Can do what?
Make the world a little bit more like, I don't know, the way that I want to see it, the way that the philosophies that I believe would be useful to most people, implementing systems that other leaders before me have tried but haven't quite gotten to the finish line.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I have
You
this
think
kind
you're
of,
the only
I have this
person that
ego, you know.
yeah. Well, you think you're the only person that can get it implemented, or you have something that you see and you're the only one that can kind of get it there?
I think I'm one of, I'm finding other people, but I know I'm probably the only one with my vision by
Mhm.
virtue
You are
of
the
just,
only one with your vision.
right. It's just like, okay, no one else has lived my life. That's fine.
Mhm.
Um, and I just feel this responsibility constantly to say to myself, okay, not even say, but like do all of the little things that are going to get that vision to become a reality. Right. And if I don't do that, um, I think the world's really going to suffer. Like genuinely, my little world, but maybe
Mhm.
the whole world. So to some degree, like we start moving so fast, this 80 hours a week, right? We start moving really, really fast. And we have very little time to actually reflect. We make very little time to reflect, at least in my life. I'm reading a book right now called Gilead or Gilead or something. It's on Oprah's book club thing, but it's really about the small moments in life. It's like about not taking, I don't know, flour for granted. You know, and when you're moving that fast, when you're moving 80 hours a week, um, it's really important to know that that part of life not only exists, but it's a really beautiful part of life. You know, it's, to some degree, it's like, I mean, if you read Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now, listen to Sadhguru at all, right? There's this immense um, you're talking about being a team. There's a team larger than our comprehension that we can access, right? Like we can access the entire universe. We are the entire universe. We're our universe. So it's like it starts becoming this. You've probably come across people that have done the 80 hours a week, right?
Mhm.
And they've done it for like 25, 40 years, right? And they're at a pretty exceptional level. But those people, there's a class of people that are that, and then they break past that. You know,
Mhm.
that's what I'm curious about. Okay, yes, we're going to do the work. We're committed. We're driven, genuinely. But what is it that will allow us to break past just the work and the satisfaction of doing the work into something that's more universally connected? You know,
Mhm.
that's what gets me going. I'm like yeah, the playbooks are written, right? The stage is set. Okay, but who's the conductor?
Yeah. 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 I feel you there, and I think, I mean, just off of hearing that, I have in my mind been around people that are like that and kind of broken past that, and they're just on like a different wavelength, to be honest with you. And my biggest thing is I want to get myself there. But it's weird because I feel like in pursuit, you separate yourself from everybody else and you're kind of in the middle of like somewhat of like I don't want to say no man's land, but you're in pursuit of something, you're chasing this.
Very few men's land.
Mhm. So you're chasing stuff up here. You feel like you left down here and you're right here in the middle. But something that's been coming to mind more recently is, why not just think that you're already up here? Like I think that in sales, one of the biggest thing is having, confidence and control and energy in what it is that you're saying. Why not have confidence, control, and energy in where you believe that you are, even if it's a lie? Why not believe that you're further than you are and just keep it going? You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't, I don't want to say it doesn't serve you to think you're less than you are, but you don't want to hurt yourself. But then again, you could probably look up some Socrates quote that says otherwise. So I don't know. That makes me think about when we were at the conference. Brandon Dawson said, it was so funny. First rule in business is there are no rules. When you look at the 48 laws of power, he's like, okay, you got these laws, but like, there are no laws. You have to use the laws and use the principles in the context of the situations going on. So you got all the laws, you got all the rules, use them as needed, but know that they could mean everything and nothing at the same time. So I don't know, man.
So we're in this process, right, of, I guess, figuring out what these laws are, and like not just reading them, but like actually feeling them, right? Actually using them. And it takes a tremendous amount of time. For some, I think it's just the raw time, right? The 10,000 hour rule, to even get to a stage of mastery, and then it starts becoming this kind of creative act, right? Beautiful book, by the way, Rick Rubin, A Creative Act.
Have you, David Senra? He did 2 episodes on Rick Rubin.
David Senra. Let me look this man up.
This podcast changed my life.
Excellent. Oh, we'll check this man out. Thank you. Okay, go ahead. He did 2 episodes on Rick Rubin.
2 episodes on Rick Rubin.
So
yeah, please go ahead. I didn't know anything about Rick Rubin until I listened to the podcast and him kind of breaking up principles and different things. And even hearing you talk about the 10,000 hours, one of the things he did an episode on Picasso, he talked about Picasso would wake up and do paintings every day for years religiously. And it's only a couple of paintings that, like, really became one of the biggest brands or one of the biggest, pieces of artwork in history. But through like sheer volume and actually practicing his craft and having the mastery, he became one of the best. Mind you, he wasn't one of the best people. Like, he also kind of went into that, like, as you kind of teeter on that line, that took up so much of his time, attention, and his heart, to where he wasn't, the best around people at that time. But then again, it's like, look at his work. So
you got to be unbalanced, right? That's what all of them say. You got to be unbalanced, and that's only if you want everyone in the world to know about your painting. Right.
If you don't, and that's okay, that's fine. Make the adjustments.
So how many people do you want? Is it about the people for you?
Is it about the people for me? When you say it is about the people, it's about,
like, how many people know about you? Is that a factor that matters to you?
It was before. I want to make sure I'm helping. I want my camp to be okay. Yeah, that's what I want. At first, I want like the publicity and everything. I don't want to say save it, but keep it. I want to make sure, as a leader, I'm good with everyone in my camp. If everybody in my camp is good, if they're eating, if they're succeeding, if they're elevating, if they're growing, everything else will take care of itself. And if I want to work towards, the publicity aspect, we can put that in a map and add that to the plan to work there. But for right now, let's make sure everybody in the camp is doing pretty good.
When are you gonna flip that script? So I've seen your social media content. It's pretty good. Is that something that you want to build out? Why, if anything, is that a thing? I'm just curious.
I do want to build it out. I do want to build it out. And we got a lot of stuff coming. I promise you, we got a lot of stuff coming. But something we talked about before was a while back. Um, you kind of talked to me about, your ideals and kind of stepping in dentistry and having that mastery aspect. I want to really make sure I got a solid house built in this industry, and then I can take it to the next level.
Love it.
And another thing we talked about too is, when you're in college, your interaction with everyone is a whole lot different. Like you're no longer a student, you're no longer a student in a organized or systemized way. I feel like I'm always a student. I don't ever think I'm
Well, you
stopped.
of all people, yeah. I mean, brilliant.
But the interactions with people, no longer being able to, pull the I'm a OSU student card. It's a little bit different.
You're just
So
like
it's
everyone else.
yeah, just like everybody else. So I really want to grow and get better with my industry. I want to grow to the top. I want to be one of the best people there, but I want to document the process too. I feel like right now is one of the most exciting times like ever.
Like in
When you
human history or in your history?
Human history.
Okay, let's talk
Human
about
history.
that.
I was listening to a podcast, same one we talked about earlier, and I listened to a lot of the older people, Rockefeller, Carnegie, kind of how America was built, and all of that hoopla. And the guy made a comparison. He talked about how when the railroad was kind of being built, it needed a couple different parts, right? You needed fuel, you needed iron and steel for the actual, railroads to get built, and you needed the stuff for it to run on. And he talked about right now we have AI, that's this huge monstrosity. It's kind of changing the game. But if AI didn't have the internet with all the data to kind of computate and run on, it wouldn't process the way that it would. A lot similar to back then. Yeah, you got trains, you got the railroads, but if we didn't have coal in this fossil fuel stuff that had been worked on for millions and millions of years, and humans just picked it up and got oil to make everything go, it wouldn't be the same. So it's like not being scared, jumping in, figuring out the actual mechanics of what's going on, plug yourself in there and build. Just build. You don't know what can happen, just build. Get around people that are doing good and build. Let's go.
Okay. Well, we could spend a whole podcast talking about getting around people. I'm not going to go there with you because I think you've, maybe we'll go there some other day. Talk to me about AI. Yeah. Talk to me about AI. How are you using it? Are you encouraging your team to use it? What's going on in the company in terms of using it? I mean, as much as you can tell me. I'm just curious.
Yeah. So in terms of AI for me, I know that we kind of talked, you gave me a tidbit before in terms of recording and making sure I get my processes and stuff down. But I just want to make sure that on a daily basis, I have something I can go to and get an answer to really quickly. So all of our playbooks, all of our scripts, all of our underwriting ordeals, everything it is that I do is being uploaded into obviously like an in-house AI software.
Is it
and
a
having
server? Like you guys have a company server, I assume, and you have an AI agent or something that runs in the back end?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So making sure I have something I can go to if I have a quick question, and just kind of go in there. I don't know. I don't know where the insurance industry is going to be going long term with AI. I do know that with people, I think the government is really, really strict on kind of like as an agent, you're somewhat of an underwriter. So if you see something, you're supposed to kind of report that, with the applications and stuff that you do. So with that being said, if you got in AIs, they're not allowed to recommend people to get certain coverages like that. That's a big thing. So the companies that are using AI to kind of bring in clients, it's just that for right now. they're not allowed to prescribe you an insurance
That's
plan.
gonna
It has to be
change.
an actual human. So
That's got to change. What do you think?
uh, I don't know.
Really?
I don't know. Obviously, it's going to change. Change is inevitable. That's going to change.
Um,
But in terms of in
Aren't
terms
people
of
just
AI,
lazy as hell? Like, aren't they just gonna be like, fuck it, if I don't need to do this, like,
very much so. Who are you going to hold accountable?
that's just it, right? No accountability. I mean, dude,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like that. I don't
If
know.
some
I
if
just know
you
humanity,
have
man.
underwriting issues, like who do you hold accountable? With a person, you can come like you can go after a person. With AI, do
You
you
go
just
after the company the AI belongs to, right?
true, true, very
Be
true.
like, all right, CEO, all right, board of directors, your AI made this stupid call, and you'd be like, sure, I'll point the finger over here and do this. I'm just saying, like, I genuinely believe that in a very short period of time, a lot of the things that were like, oh, only humans can do this, we're just gonna be like, fuck it, we're sick and tired of doing all this work.
I agree. It's happening right now. It's
Did it's
happening right this
It
second.
blows my mind. So okay, so that's inside the company. What about? I assume you're still going to the gym, right? I assume you still have personal life. You're seeing family. You know, I don't know how often you go to church. This type of stuff. Um, you're obviously inspiring yourself with podcasts, etc. Do you have that same system for your personal life? For the like plugging your personal life into an AI and kind of leveraging that?
I don't know. No, I haven't thought about that. Like, what do you mean? Have you done that for yourself?
I'm trying to pretty actively. So inside of I switched over to Claude recently just because
Mhm,
all the monkeys told me to do it.
mhm.
And even in ChatGPT, I had projects for Tarabify. I had a project for Franklin Dental Care and Dentures. I had a project for Bright Smiles, and I had a project for Tarab. So there would be like personal like things that I'm into. I gave it a whole spiel of like how I like to travel, things that I enjoy doing, whatever. Um, and it was decent, but it never got to the point where I haven't used it in scheming out, for instance, the plan for entire year or entire like 10 years and
Mhm.
like getting that more streamlined. Um,
Have you tried Manus? Have you looked at Manus at all?
what is that?
Manus, that's more so an agentic AI. I think they just got acquired by Meta
True.
last year.
Hmm.
Manus is it's huge. Like
Are
Manus
you
is
using it?
I'm using Manus, yeah.
Yeah. Doesn't it like qualify leads or like doesn't it like find leads for you essentially?
Manus. I haven't used Manus in that aspect. I've used Manus more so for um, content creation and kind of just like going in that sense and kind of mapping stuff out and kind of planning out my schedule and doing things for me.
Hmm.
In terms of finding leads, you can do that with ChatGPT. As long as you prompt the agent the right way, I especially like um, going through LinkedIn. Instagram, I've had some issues, I've had some troubles, but LinkedIn more specifically, if you prompt it the right way, it can get leads, put them inside of a spreadsheet for you, and just kind of categorize stuff for you. So I've done that. I've done pretty good with that in chat. But Manus is one that I've played a lot with.
What are you utilizing it for?
More so like AI content creation. So with a single prompt, it made a really, really cool video that I like. With one prompt, it will create a storyboard. It will create like the different videos, add sound effects, add talking, like with one prompt. So I'm like, okay, and I'm not even the smartest. So I'm trying to utilize AI to learn how to use AI and kind of go on that, loophole. But it's amazing. It will burn through credits, but Manus is one I try to spend at least 30 minutes every single day, kind of playing around with, uploading new stuff, and just going from there. And a cool thing about Manus too, because it's owned by Meta, you can actually connect your Instagram account to it, and it can like directly go to accounts, pages, searches. Like it's Manus is fire. Meta's cooking.
How much is it? Oh, I'll look into it. you don't have to sales pitch me, Menace. The fact that you said it already, you know, my involvement with media. So I'm very very curious about. I was just having a really good conversation with one of my friends about um, actually Robert Janito. I don't know if you remember that name at all, but
Mhm.
he's he just created a script where he can create 2 hour long videos for himself and like
Mm.
pretty sick, very very cool. I'll look into Manus. So okay, you're well on your way to becoming, I assume, some sort of owner of this company or something, right? That'll allow you to make these connections and allow you to have these. I don't want to call them transactions, collaborations with these largest companies in the world. Um, or
That's
do you-
change to Rob. That's changing though. Like it doesn't have to be a company.
okay.
It doesn't have to be a company. It could be a person. Back then, people, and that was something I kind of, it's been stuck in my mind too. Before the internet, before social media, if you wanted to connect with people, you wanted to connect with networks, you had to go to the company to do so. Now, if you have a phone and you build a brand this way, just because you don't have the biggest, revenue stream, or you don't have a really large profit, you could have a really large following. And that could be what kind of connects the two and takes you to the next level.
Hmm.
And it depends on what world you want to work with. The biggest brand in the world for 80-year-olds is going to be different than the biggest brand in the world for 13-year-olds that are thinking about going to high school. Their world is a little bit different. Who do you want to connect with? Like, what do you want to do? The biggest brand in the world for crypto is going to be a difference. It's going to be different than the biggest brand in the world with cooking. So it depends
Oh,
on what world do you want to hop in.
wait a second. Are you still into crypto?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you still doing investing on the side, like kind of buying coins? Or what's the deal with crypto? Do you think people should know about it and care about it?
For me right now, I haven't paid too much attention to like all the new coins and stuff like that. My biggest strategy is acquiring Bitcoin every week. Every time I get paid, a sliver of income is going towards acquiring Bitcoin.
I love it. I love
Mm.
it. What do you think about the blockchain? Do you think that, for instance, you're in life insurance?
Mhm.
How valuable would it be for life insurance to be able to acquire all the medical records of a person through um, a verifiable block in the chain?
It's going to be it's going to be the thing that I think kind of revolutionizes the insurance industry as a whole. There's something about like just the time right now. I got a buddy of mine who, well, I don't want to say that. I think that AI and the blockchain, those two things alone, put into different industries, like that's going to be something that's studied in the history books.
Hmm.
So figuring out, if you got the blockchain that can verify things, or it kind of has like timestamps on everything, and if you have uh, an entity that can very quickly crunch and take a look at data and information, through stuff that's true. Like I don't know. It's like having, when you look at Manus, you got a personal assistant. There's something to AI, the blockchain, and insurance. There's something to AI, the blockchain, and real estate. There's
Mm-hmm.
something to AI, insurance, and fintech. There's something to AI, insurance, and even schooling. Like there's something with those two things, and that's just what I think about. Like you got the railroads, you got oil, you got the railroads. Those two things at the time changed the trajectory of the United States. I think right now AI and the blockchain, it's kind of died down. No one's talking about as much of it right now, but
It's gonna come
I
back.
it's going to come back, and it's
Oh,
going to be
100%.
it's going to come back with AI. Like when blockchain was hot and popping, we didn't have AI to the extent that we did. Now we have AI. If you got those two things together, like I don't know.
You got
I
to
don't
talk
know.
to Robert.
Something's gonna change.
You got to talk to Robert. I think it'll be fascinating for you. He's actually putting together a whole thing. So, um, my commitment is to education, genuinely, because I mean you're one of my greatest success stories, right? I I just kind of I said what I could. You took it all the way, and you're still taking it all the way. Um, how do we get more people on that road, or do you think more people should be on this road?
I think the people that want to be on the road will find their way.
Yeah,
I think
regardless.
it depends on what people want, and I feel like for the longest time I wanted to break the mold so hard. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because the people I listen to and the content's going to be the thing. It's the marketing and being able to reach the people and nurture and groom them. I feel like I feel like since I've started working, I understand the importance of everything is business. One thing that came to mind is if I ever were to work with a marketing agency, the first person that came to mind is Gary Vee. And I'm like, why is that? And I'm like, I've been listening to Gary Vee since I was in like the sixth grade. I didn't even know like anything. I didn't know anything about anything. I didn't know nothing about nothing. I've been listening to, and I feel like Gary has been like a business mentor for years. I've never met Gary Vaynerchuk, not once in my life. Now, one of my guys on my team got a chance to go meet him while I was at a different event, which made me kind of mad. But I feel like I've grown up with Gary, and because of that, now that I'm in a different stage in life, whenever I think about working or collaborating with people, the biggest brands, Gary Vee or VaynerMedia, he's the first person that comes to mind. So it's
Yeah.
like building up and planting the seeds early on and just nurturing and nurturing and nurturing and nurturing and nurturing. And pretty soon they're like, oh, snap. If I'm joining the club, it's going to be Travify. Like, no questions asked.
It's
So,
we're we're expanding. I was doing a little bit more of the Travify mentoring, but now I'm more focused on the dental aspect of things. We don't have very much time to chat usually, but Bright Smiles is taking a pretty big chunk of my kind of educational aspect of things, just because I think there's something to be said about project-based learning. I think there is absolutely no better way of learning than having a project and being responsible for the project,
mhm.
because you're necessarily going to fail. And there's so many scales to a project, right? Like you can look at it from 10,000 feet, or you can look at it, most people are not looking at it from 10,000 feet. Um, so I'm like, okay, well, service-based work helps a lot of people, right? You get to learn through building a project. You get to fail through building a project. That helps people.
Mhm.
Um, I'm really, really committed to giving young leaders that footing. Um, and though like the seminars, like the talks and stuff are good, dude. I can't make content like Gary Vee. I haven't been around for like fucking 80 years. You know? Like there's um but I can build programs that perhaps he doesn't have or he might want to invest in.
Mhm.
Right? That
I
to me is fascinating.
I think I think you may be looking at it kind of wrong, and I think you're doing it right now.
Hmm.
Saying I can't make content like Gary Vee, don't try to make content like Gary Vee. Make content like Tarab and document the process. I promise you, like if you get one or two like dentists, like if you get one or two dentists that are watching you, because there's someone watching. I promise you, there's somebody watching, and you get someone that's watching, and they want to come be a part of, or they want to add value to, or they think they got the missing piece, it's gonna, push it all the way to the edge. He would say document over create, document over create. And that was before like all this AI stuff. Now I think the importance of, or one thing he's been talking about, a lot of other people have mentioned, is like having a personal brand and making sure you yourself as a real person, individual, and professional, you're putting yourself out there, making sure people feel some type of way when they listen to your content. You want to evoke emotion and you want to kind of get something out of people. So yeah, I like keep on dot, and that's something I'm trying to do too. And it's something I'm trying to work on like heavily. And one
Mhm.
thing, I don't know why, working out has been something that's kind of like been a default for me, but it's like I don't know. Like it's something everybody I talk to, it doesn't feel that crazy or insane to me. But if everybody's telling you something and that's something that they're attracted to, put it out. Like put it out there. Whatever people come to you about, they're like, Tarab, you're like you're the guy on this every single time, and you're just like, no, like it's no, no, no. Listen to them, highlight that, and put it out there.
So have you thought about the efficiency of you're necessarily going to work out and you should probably make some content while you're doing it?
Yes, 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 yes.
Yeah.
So, and going with my brother too, my brother, he was a D1 track athlete. He kind of, he came out of school to join the firm, to join the agency
Wow.
with me. And that was something that I took, very seriously. Like for someone to come out of a D1 program, he was getting paid by the school, got a school paid for, free housing, brand new apartment, to come live with me and put in 80-hour weeks. Um, and something that's not fun, talking about something that's boring, but having the trust and not even the knowledge, but having the trust in his bigger brother, and having a vision that we're gonna take this all the way and make it fun. You know what I mean? Like I, I don't know. I feel like with the virtual sales aspect, like the whole game is just changing, and like people are kind of stepping out. People want to retire. People want to stop working. There's a whole, like there's an industry with like millions of people that got to fill the gaps. Like let's bring people in and let's bring them in through us. If
I
you want
love
to
it.
come do insurance, come over here.
Dude,
Yeah,
I'll send interns. I'll send finance interns to you.
I
That'd be super
promise
interesting.
you, insurance isn't going anywhere. Same thing with dentistry. If I get like all my dentist friends, I'm sending them your way. Like,
I mean,
yeah,
you know, it's one step at a time, and I think, dude, you're growing into a real role model, and it's a real honor to talk to you after all this time. I was geeking after I saw that our podcast was today. I was like, dude, what the fuck has this guy been up to? And I knew that you were just, that you're crushing it. Um, that's the thing that I wanted to offer to you. Out of the things that I'm building, also is, would you be interested in mentoring some of these kids?
yes,
I'll extend that over.
without a doubt, yes, yes.
Because, dude, I mean, the stuff that you're talking about right now in terms of the next generation coming in, I mean, it's what is it about that that's so inspiring? You know, we're like in our 20s. I'm about to be 30. I'm like a millennial. Um, took me a lot of years, man. Took me a lot of years to figure something out, and it's so cool to
I don't
be
know what it
here.
is, Rob. I
You
feel
know,
like I remember being in school. I would believe I was in high school at one point in time. I was in college at one point in time. I was 20 years old at one point in time. And I remember listening to people just, I don't know. Like you feel everything is corny. Like literally, you feel everything is corny.
that's a beautiful quote. I'm stealing
Everything
that
in the world is corny.
for sure.
And it's like to be here in this point now, it's like there's a whole, like everything is up for grabs. I don't know. Like I feel bad kind of wasting time sometimes. And yeah, my head hurts. Like my head hurts and you need some downtime. I heard Elon Musk, when he needs his downtime, he'll go to his friend's house and he'll sit down and he'll play video games. Like that's his outlet. But there's so like I almost want to cry. There's so much on the table right now. It's not even funny. Like you got people that there's a huge a wealth transfer. Sean Conrad, that's something you mentioned. You got a huge wealth transfer, And on top of that, you got this new technology that a lot of older people just they don't care. Like I'm good. I lived my life. I'm good. Let these new cats step up. And there are new cats that are crushing it. Like there are people right now that are building the Apples and the Microsofts and the Roman empires of business or industries right now. And the more and more I listen to founders, the more and more I listen to successful people and I watch other people, I watching is cool. I'm not a hater. I'm happy, but let me build too. Like, like let me get my castle taken care of. Let me work on some stuff. I feel like there's so much out there. We can contact people on the other side of the world. We can build businesses with people that are in different countries. That's something that never existed. The fact that we can talk to each other on a computer screen while being in two different cities is insane. Like that didn't exist a couple years ago.
Right.
And I don't want to look back 20 years from now and be like, yeah, you could have, but like I at least want to try and give it my all.
Yeah. Well, you just letting you know you are. There's probably a lot of different avenues that you could go down, but I think the thing that makes me respect you the most, Jacob, is just your consistency, man. You're just so consistent, and it shows already that you are building the technical skill required to be an absolute crusher. Like people will rely on you. People can rely on you,
And
which is sick.
no. That right there, that's what keeps me even here. Like to hear you say that is like, okay. I was telling you before, I wanted to have a Naruto effect on people.
Yeah.
Like you go into a battle and they're like, no, like you can literally take your enemies or people that are against you, and with your work ethic and you like your ideals and how much heart you have in what you're doing, you can make people believe in what it is that you're doing. And they like want not only believe in you, give everything that they have to contribute to your cause. You're literally selling your dream, and people are like, yeah, I want to get a part of this camp. So it's like hearing that, it's like, okay, you got to go harder. Like you got to go harder. You got people that depend on you, and you got people that are looking up to you, and you got a lot. Like I have no idea who's watching. I have no idea who's watching, and it's like we got to keep going. And there are a lot of things I got to get better at. I have to. And your attitude, that's the thing. Your attitude. I don't want to turn people off, or I don't want to uh, uh, pour water on the fire that's going to take me from here to here. You got to show up every day with the right attitude. And it's hard. It's hard.
But that's what makes it fun.
Yeah, that's what
I don't. For me, at least, I'm like, oh shit, I gotta build all this. Okay, how do you do that? All right, cool. So, Jacob King, are you still in Columbus, boss?
I am still in Columbus.
Cool. If a young person watches this, old person watches this, someone watches this, how do they get in touch with you?
You can follow my Instagram at jkingward, JKINGWAR. LinkedIn, Jacob King. Look up Columbus or Ohio State. Be the first to pop up. Let me see. You can hit my email, jkingwar24@gmail.com. Those are pretty much all my socials. If you want to pop by, the office at some point in time, 100 East Campus View Boulevard, come get a policy, come get an internship, come get some work. Yeah, that's how you can find me.
I love it. What's something I should have asked you that I didn't ask you?
And something you should ask me.
Or what's something you wanted to tell me that you didn't get to tell me?
Thank you. No, like seriously, thank you for pushing the things that you pushed. Like at some point in time, you're gonna have to go out and you're gonna have to recruit. Like that's it, and it's great. Like you have to recruit, and you got to be good at it too. You got to make people want to join your team. Why should I join your team? I can go do a whole bunch of other stuff. Like why you? Why your dream? Why your team? Why your company? And then to wake up and go to the morning meetings. Like seriously, my mind goes, if you can't handle what it is that you got now, how in the world are you going to be able to carry what's needed later down? If if you really want what you say you want, how can you successfully manage a team of 1 million people if you can't get up at 8 o'clock to lead a team of 5?
Amen. Ladies and gentlemen, Jacob King, absolute king among men. Dude, all my blessings. I'll be in touch. Next time I come to Columbus, we'll have to chill. And dude, congrats.
Thank you.
Freaking congrats. Excellent. Peace and love, baby.